Always ready, always faithful.
These are all the United States military branches that defend the nation in war. Army. The Army is the oldest and largest branch of the U.S. military. Established on June 14, 1775 by the Second Continental Congress, the Army is America's first national institution. That founding came 12 months before the Declaration of Independence was signed. It is the lead service for sustained land combat. It fields 452,823 active duty soldiers. Its total force reaches 980,000 across active, National Guard, and reserve components. Those forces include regular Army formations, the Army National Guard, and the Army Reserve, working together as a single total force. The Army organizes combat power around brigade combat teams, armored, infantry, and striker variants. These formations operate under a command structure running from squad to division to corps. The Army marks its 250th anniversary in 2025. Army operations and transformation. Notable. Operations include large-scale invasions and long counterinsurgency campaigns. During Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003, the Army's 3rd Infantry Division advanced 400 miles to Baghdad in 3 weeks. That advance remains one of the fastest armored drives in military history. In 2025, the Army is restructuring under the Army Transformation Initiative. The plan converts infantry brigades to mobile formations. It also merges Army Futures Command with Training and Doctrine Command into a single organization. That unified command prepares for multi-domain operations across land, air, sea, space, and cyberspace. Under the initiative, Army Futures Command and Training and Doctrine Command merge while Forces Command becomes a Western Hemisphere-focused headquarters. Navy. The United States Navy is the world's maritime power. Established on October 13, 1775, it operates 290 deployable battle force ships. Those include 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. More than any other country on Earth operates in total. A carrier strike group centers on a single aircraft carrier and its escorts. Those escorts usually include 1 cruiser and several Arleigh Burke guided missile destroyers. A strike group also sails with 1 or 2 submarines. In total, a strike group deploys about 7,500 personnel. Its carrier air wing fields 65 to 70 aircraft. The fleet includes 74 Arleigh Burke guided missile destroyers, the most numerous warship class in the force, and 69 nuclear submarines. Each nuclear-powered carrier functions as a mobile airbase able to position 65 to 70 aircraft worldwide. Navy. Nuclear mission. The Navy provides the sea-based leg of the United States nuclear triad through 14 Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines. Those submarines give the United States a survivable second strike capability hidden beneath the oceans. From late 2023 through 2024, Navy ships in the Red Sea intercepted over 100 Houthi ballistic missiles and drones. That campaign was one of the most sustained United States naval combat air defense operations conducted since World War II. The Navy is integrating Gerald R. Ford-class carriers and debating how to fund a larger fleet to meet global commitments in the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. Marine Corps. The United States Marine Corps is the nation's force in readiness. Established on November 10, 1775, the Corps fields 169,000 active duty Marines, organized around the Marine Air-Ground Task Force. This combined arms unit integrates ground, aviation, logistics, and command elements under a single commander. The smallest Marine Air-Ground Task Force is a Marine Expeditionary Unit of 2,200 personnel. It can deploy in under 6 hours and sustain independent operations for 7 days without external support. Despite falling under the Department of the Navy, the Marine Corps is a fully independent armed service. Its commandant holds an equal seat on the Joint Chiefs of Staff, alongside the chiefs of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Space Force. Marine Corps Force Design. 3 active Marine Expeditionary Forces are based at Camp Pendleton, Camp Lejeune, and Okinawa, Japan. Together they provide continuous coverage across the Pacific. Each Marine Expeditionary Force can generate Marine Expeditionary Brigades and Marine Expeditionary Units for simultaneous crises. The Corps is restructuring under Force Design, eliminating all tanks, It is standing up Marine littoral regiments in Hawaii and Okinawa for distributed Pacific Island operations. These reforms concentrate on long-range fires and units dispersed across islands. They also deepen integration with Navy ships in the Pacific for contested maritime operations near China and North Korea. Marine littoral regiments in Hawaii and Okinawa are designed for distributed island hopping campaigns across the Western Pacific. Air Force. The United States Air Force is the largest air force and the only one with global reach from a single continent. Established on September 18, 1947 under the National Security Act, it operates 5,004 active aircraft. Those aircraft include 180 F-22 Raptors, the only stealth air superiority jet. They also include 20 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers used for long-range nuclear and conventional strike. The Air Force controls 2 of the 3 legs of the United States nuclear triad. It operates 400 deployed Minuteman, 3 intercontinental ballistic missiles in hardened underground silos. It also commands the Strategic Bomber Force that carries nuclear gravity bombs and cruise missiles. Its active duty force stands at 329,000. An additional 105,000 personnel serve in the Air National Guard and the Air Force Reserve. Air Force Global Reach. Notable operations include bombing campaigns launched from the continental United States. During Operation Allied Force in 1999, B-2 bombers flew non-stop from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri to strike targets in Serbia. That mission required a trip from United States soil without a forward base. Here are some notable operations that show how that reach is used. During Operation Enduring Freedom, Air Force aircraft provided close air support and airlift across Afghanistan's mountains. The Air Force is currently replacing all 3 major force layers at once. The F-35A is replacing aging F-16 fighters. The B-21 Raider is taking over for the aging bomber fleet. And the Sentinel Intercontinental Ballistic Missile is replacing the Minuteman III. If this overview is helpful, subscribing helps. Coast Guard. The Coast Guard is the only branch of the U.S. Armed Forces not under the Department of Defense in peacetime. The Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Space Force all fall under the Pentagon. The Coast Guard instead operates under the Department of Homeland Security. That position makes it simultaneously a military service, a federal law enforcement agency, and a maritime regulatory body. Established on August 4, 1790, the Coast Guard predates the Navy's restoration. For the first 8 years of the nation's existence, from 1790 to 1798, the Coast Guard was the only naval force. Its 11 statutory missions span drug interdiction, search and rescue, port security, migrant interdiction, and Arctic icebreaker operations. The service also maintains aids to navigation, such as buoys and lighthouses, to keep commerce moving safely. Its active force numbers 43,000 personnel across cutters, aircraft, and shore. Units. Coast Guard missions. In fiscal year 2023, Coast Guard cutters seized 226 metric tons of cocaine. The estimated value of that cargo was $7 billion. That haul reflects the service's role as the nation's primary maritime counter-narcotics force. The President holds legal authority to transfer the Coast Guard to the Department of the Navy in wartime. That transfer was executed in both World War I and World War II. Today, the Coast Guard faces an aging fleet and a shortage of icebreakers compared to Russia's ice-breaking force. Congress has approved funding for new polar security cutters to close that gap and protect American access to the Arctic. The service operates only 2 heavy icebreakers, while Russia fields more than 40. Space Force. The Space Force is the youngest military branch. Established on December 20th, 2019, it is the first space-focused military service in the world. It is the first new United States armed service in 72 years. With 14,000 military and civilian personnel, the Space Force is the smallest of the 6 branches. It operates the infrastructure underpinning all United States military operations. That infrastructure includes the Global Positioning System constellation, navigating every weapon system, troop movement, and logistics operation. It also includes space-based sensors, providing early warning of ballistic missile launches anywhere on Earth. Those systems are tied to satellite communications networks, connecting United States forces across every theater. Space Force tracks all objects in orbit and is developing countermeasures against anti-satellite weapons, fielded by China and Russia. Guardians serve in streamlined field commands, deltas, and squadrons rather than traditional divisions and corps. Space Force Doctrine. Here are some notable operations. In 2024, the service oversaw 21 national security satellite launches. In November 2025, it redesignated its operational command as Combat Forces Command. That change signaled that space has transitioned from a support domain to a warfighting one. The Space Force is building doctrine, culture, and organizational identity, while planning for Guardians to operate more frequently in orbit. Its planners wargame Chinese and Russian anti-satellite attacks and test more resilient satellite constellations. Thanks for watching. Among all 6 branches, which one appears most critical to how the United States military operates? Share perspectives in the comments and like and subscribe if the overview helped clarify how the branches work together.